Hey, I'm Dave and welcome to the Weekend Warrior Woodworking channel. So I'm here today with my first video. And in this first video, we are going to review my initial impressions of the Laguna F2 Fusion table saw, which I received about 2 weeks ago. So, first thing, as I said, this is my first video, so editing software, I don't think so. You are going to see it as it happens. You're in control. You want to fast forward through something, go ahead, but there's no editing software used anywhere in this video. You're going to see it as it unfolds. So with that stated, let's get started. All right, so this right here, as you can see, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit, is the new, to me, Fusion F2 table saw, what we're going to call the 1 3/4 horsepower Weekend Warrior model. 110 volt plugs right into the wall over there. So I was using a contractor, DeWalt, decided to do an upgrade. So did a lot of research in the sense I watched a lot of YouTube videos, watched Laguna videos from the company. I did some research looking at other videos from other companies and settled on the Fusion F2. So my initial impressions came in a big crate, which was very nicely packaged. It was easy to get out of the crate. It was easy to assemble. This thing was simple. Follow directions, take about 15-20 minutes. I did it myself and got it assembled. The overall look of the saw, you know, it's something people consider, something I consider. It looks great. You're more concerned with performance, but you also want your table saw to be something that's pleasing to you. I like the looks of it. It's got a cast iron table and both extension wings are cast iron. It's also got a high-low fence system. It's got an overhead dust collection system. It's got a digital readout for the tilt of the saw. The saw blade was straight out of the package, 90 degrees. The table was put together relatively well. I will say, you know, there's a seam here that's just a little bit wonky, out of joint, but it's not going to affect anything regarding the saw. So the first overall impression after getting it set up was, yes, very happy with it. The cast iron table is nice, it's smooth, things slide across it very easily. The one thing that I didn't notice, however, this is set up in my garage. I live in Massachusetts. It's extremely humid here during the summer. So the cast iron has begun to stain. So is that a negative as far as the performance of the machine? No, but you know, you're going to have some stains on it. At least that's what I've found so far. And there's really no explanation for it. It's not like I put a drink on it or anything. I come up here, every once in a while there's a new stain on it, but it still looks and feels really great. So why did I purchase the Laguna over something like a SawStop? Well, one, when I looked at all the features of this, I probably would have had to spend an extra $2,000 or so to get a comparable SawStop. So one thing really good about the company was kind of a drawback also. I ordered this in March of the year 2021. It was delivered in the middle of August 2021. So about 5 months later. And I paid $13.99 price for this particular model. Now during an intern, Laguna came up with an upgrade. So they've always had this high-low fence system, and the fence, really smooth. 36-inch rip capacity. You can put it out, bring it in, very smooth, set it up to where you want, lock it in, it's solid. I haven't found any deflection not going anywhere. So, as I was waiting for my saw, they did 2 upgrades. One, they put a little digital readout here for the tilt of the saw, and 2, they put an extra window on the fence system here. So there used to be one, so you knew where, when the fence was high, you knew how far away from the blade you were. They added one for the low fence. So 2 upgrades that happened while I was waiting for my saw. They also changed the price. instead of $13.99, it was $17.99. But to Laguna's credit, they sent me the $17.99 saw for the price I paid before. I mean, I'm sure in the manufacturing process it's a lot easier. You know, they were building machines. Let's get them out, get the new ones out, and if we have to eat a couple from people who ordered them 5 months ago, we'll do it. But I found that that was really good. They didn't contact me and say, hey, you know what? You have to pay a couple extra $100 for the saw. That was good. Everything on this machine during the 2 weeks I have had it has worked up to my expectations. Another thing, this is mobile. If you look at the SawStop or some others, you have to buy a base to move it around your shop. This comes with a couple of wheels you can unlock. You can move it around your shop. So, bang for the buck, I felt this was the best for me. And I'm very happy with what it is right now. So that's my general overview of the saw right now. But I'm sure you care about how it works. So we're going to do two things. One, I'm going to do the nickel test. And the nickel test is, I'm going to start it up with the nickel here on it, and it should not fall over. I have found when I use this saw, almost no vibration. But we're going to do it live on camera, and we're going to see what happens when we turn it on. This is my first time trying a nickel test. I never bothered trying it when I was alone, but I figured for the video, let's give it a shot so you people at home can take a look at it. So, one, being the safety geek I am, I don't do anything without safety equipment. I'm not making any cuts, but I'm going to turn the saw on, so I need my ear protection. So, I'm going to bring the camera in, so hopefully you can see a little bit closer what's going to happen with the nickel when I turn it on. And let's shut it off. All right. I think that does a pretty good job of showing you the vibration. Didn't fall over. Very solid. Also, it came with leveling feet. My garage floor, you know, like most of them are made, it's slanted a little bit, so if there's any water in here, it'll run out. But I used the leveling feet and got this perfectly level. Another bonus with this particular machine. So what I will do right now is I'm going to make two cuts for you. I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch plywood. I'm going to cut two 4-inch pieces off of it. That's going to be important later on when I make another video about a table saw sled I'm going to make for this particular model. So again, I don't do anything without safety equipment. My glasses, my ears, and then another thing when I'm making these cuts, I'm going to go turn on the Raycon dust collector, so you're going to have an opportunity to check out the overhead dust collection system on this. So, let's use the fence, 4 inches. That is easy locked up. Another feature, push stick, right there. I need to cut these the long way. Cut was nice and smooth. And test. Four inches on the dot. 4 inches on the dot, which tells me no deflection with the fence as we're going through. So, cut, no complaints there whatsoever. Dust collection. Now, 100%? Absolutely not. Is there some dust on the table? Absolutely. Compared to the DeWalt that I had been using, I would have been covered with dust. There's nothing on me really, some on the table. So I would say dust collection, yeah, as far as on the table when you're using this, pretty darn good. All in all, this has lived up to my expectations right now, the way I've used them. So, with all of these features, the fence, the dust collection, the cast iron wings and everything, I felt this was the model for me, and so far the 2 weeks I've been using it has lived up to my expectations. Now I got a couple of projects to build. As a matter of fact, one of them is going to be the table saw sled I'm going to make for this. Tune in for that. You're going to want to see it, although it's going to be kind of made specifically for my table saw and doing my kitchen cabinets over. You'll be able to adapt it to whatever you want to use. I'm going to use a design that I saw from Jonathan Katz-Moses, and I'm going to modify that for my purpose on this particular table saw and what I want to use it for. So I'm happy with it so far. It's solid, it works well, and I'm going to do something that I haven't seen yet. So when I was doing my research for this, I watched a lot of videos of people doing the unboxing or their first impressions. And they all said, hey, I'm going to come back in a couple of months, let you know how it's held up and what I like and don't like about it now that I've used it for a few months. I never saw anybody do that. I'm going to do it for you. I'm going to come back in a few months after having used this and making some projects, and I'm going to let you know how it holds up and would I still buy it, am I still happy with it. So, all in all, thanks for stopping by. Do me a favor, hit the subscription button and also hit the notification button so you'll know when I send out my next video. I'm going to do a review of the Raycon I have over there, dust collection system, and then the actual build for the table saw. So once again, I'm Dave from Weekend Warrior Woodworking. Thanks for stopping by.